live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Miq Strawn.
Let me guess you're going to say...
Uh-huh.
I just have a feeling I know what you're going to say. This movie had a lot of good effects in it. There were some practical effects mixed in. You know, you liked it. It was a good story. There's some good sequences in there. There was almost... Anyway, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. We let the cat out of the bag. We got to talking to a bunch of people, and we talked to the whole theater when we were done with it, and everybody agreed. Usually we don't talk about these things, after the film. Yeah. And absolutely everybody agreed that it was a pretty good movie.
Now, the funniest thing was this old lady that was probably, 80 maybe? Maybe
probably that, yeah.
Upwards past 80 probably?
Yeah.
But she was a horror fan.
And
she was like, oh, The Ring, that was just a doozy.
That was a whamming.
I own that one.
She said, It.
What was the other one? Oh, The Rain. The Rain was the other one.
Yeah, The Rain. I know, she just had a whole list of them, and I was like, okay, there you go.
And then there was a comment that, my favorite thing she said something about, you don't like slasher films? It's like,
yeah.
Somebody's got to get cut. She's like, well, it airs them out.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it airs them out.
So
that's what we're here for. We're here to air them out. Jason.
So we saw kind of one that we had no idea what the hell it was. And the trailer was horrible. I thought this was going to be bad.
I really thought it was going to be bad.
A group of teens face their fears in order to save their lives. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Nightmare on Elm Street.
A little bit. It was Scary Stories.
And one of the women that we were talking to afterwards mentioned that she had her students read the books or something.
Yeah, I guess I get this.
So I don't know.
Maybe this is some books or something?
We're going into this blind.
Yeah, completely. But I have to say, I enjoyed it. It had the perfect Scary Story mix.
Yeah.
It had good effects. A lot of them were practical. Obviously, it went to, CGI where it had to.
It did have that, kind of innocent, childish feeling, but at the same time, it had the pretty scary stuff.
You know what? It had... I don't know exactly how.
It wasn't, scary.
It had that 50s haunted house kind of feel, You kind of expected to see Vincent Price come around the corner or something.
The kids were amazing.
And the kids were really good.
Zoe
was great.
Colletti was freaking amazing.
She was great.
There
was only one cast member that I really didn't agree with, and I think it was Augie Hildebrand, Gabriel Brush.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really Gabriel Rush. I didn't get a rush off of Gabriel Rush.
I like the guy that played Chuck. Austin Zahar, I guess. But he was, I liked the way he talked. It was just cracking me up. Yeah. Because it almost sounded like a Corey Feldman, but the difference was this guy could act better than Corey Feldman.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
There you go.
And I kind of liked Augie because he kind of brought the kind of the more nerdy vibe, I guess, if that makes any sense. With his whole outfit that he was wearing.
Yeah. I
don't know. I actually didn't have any complaints about...
Did I get the wrong person?
Actors.
No, I did get the wrong person.
You're talking about Michael Garza?
Yeah, I'm talking about... No. I loved Ramon. No, it was... I didn't like Chuck. How do you like that?
You didn't like Chuck?
We're talking about the same person.
And I like Chuck.
I didn't like Chuck. Chuck sucked.
I would give Chuck a 4 out of 5.
I wouldn't give Chuck the time of day.
He also reminded me a little bit of one of the Marx Brothers,
Zeppo.
Maybe Chico. Maybe
Chico.
Yeah, Chico. He had kind of that Chico thing.
He did. He had it going, yeah. But I didn't like it. I didn't like Chico either, so there you go. And by the way, there's another tie to the Three Stooges. What was it?
The song. Well, when I first heard it, I was like, what the... It's like, oh, the Three Stooges, were they on CBS?
I don't.
I was trying to figure it out in my head.
I don't know. To tell you the truth, they probably used that song at the very beginning of the Three Stooges, and it might have actually gone to public domain.
Ah, yeah.
Kind of got a feeling.
Well, I was just curious because it was CBS at the beginning.
How did
they
the
were on
song
ABC. Oh well. Anyway, I just looked it up. They were on ABC. And at first I was thinking of the Laurel and Hardy for some reason, but then I was like, no, it was definitely Three Stooges.
Yeah.
There was one line that I really liked about this kid made me fart in my milk and drink it.
Yeah.
What was it? I can't remember. My milk carton. Maybe fart in my milk carton and drink it.
Fart in my milk carton and drink it. Yeah. That was disturbing.
There's one sequence that I think we both really, 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 really liked with the guy that did the thing with the things that came together. And
oh, yeah. That was really good. But you know, also, when the face first came down.
Yeah.
It was, and he was, and you were like, what the hell is this? And then the rest of the things kept coming, and you're going, holy crap! Just come together.
The only thing
now.
I'm not a fan of the mist, the black mist that keeps. It's in a lot of movies.
You know what? Here's the thing about the black mist in this one: they didn't need it.
They didn't.
I mean, there was absolutely
already dark enough.
Yeah, there was no reason for it, and it didn't. It didn't have to be there to give you any sense of impending doom. It looked very optical, but I kind of gave it, well, that's the standard right now. It was like in the 80s when we started to do morph. When we first started morphing, which was terrible, As friends, I used to see bumper stickers all over LA. Friends don't let friends morph. But all the way through, I have to tell you, it was tight. The corn maze, the cornfield one with the dummy. The
Scarecrow one.
The Scarecrow one.
Who's the girl that plays in It, the redhead? Because I think she found her rival.
Yes, absolutely.
I was trying to think of her name. But anyway, the girl that played It, the redhead.
Right.
There's a redhead in this. She carried the whole movie, I think.
She
it
absolutely
was like in a backpack. She was just carrying the whole thing.
No, she really... she had a strength of character that you really wanted to be on her side.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was believable when she got emotional and,
Yeah, that was one thing about the whole film. The whole film had as far as such things have
right.
airs of believability.
Yeah.
But even her father in it was a more believable character than they usually do the father.
He's always been a good father. Like if you saw Breaking Bad. I can't remember the actor's name right now.
Well, I don't mean, but I mean Dean Norris. I mean,
Dean Norris. Yeah,
his role was written.
It was written
really well. I mean, Guillermo del Toro had something to do with the writing, and it was well written. Everything was a little bit, one of the things I liked was everything was a little bit different. Mm-hmm. You had the nerds were going hard against the.
It wasn't as predictable.
It wasn't as it absolutely wasn't.
I'm glad we don't know anything about the books because
right,
it might have ruined it for me, really.
Right, I gotta tell you, the whole storylines were everybody was a little bit different than you thought it was going to be, and even the story of the ghost was a little bit different than you thought it was going to be, all the way down.
The hospital thing was really bizarre.
Yeah. I'm not sure that if there was one complaint I would have about it, it would be the creature that was in the hospital room.
I thought it was Marlon Brando. when I first saw the creature,
right? Yeah,
I thought it was Marlon Brando. I thought he was dead.
This is what he would look like now if he weren't dead.
Probably.
And it was a little bit but then what they did with him, I thought was kind of interesting. And there was something about this film. There was something about buses. They did a lot of 50s gags with the buses that really didn't need to be in 1968. Buses didn't look like that in 1968.
I was wondering about. I could have sworn I saw a shoulder belt and a seat belt, but I don't remember if I did or not.
But they didn't have.
And then I don't know if they had seat belts in cars in 1968, but they probably did. Lap belts.
They did have lap belts.
Yeah. But I thought I saw a character use a shoulder belt.
And Volvo actually would have had shoulder straps.
Oh, really?
By them. I actually wrote something on.
Well, this wasn't a Volvo, was it? It was a. I'm thinking of a. It was probably a Chrysler or something.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, no, they didn't have no American car had a strap at all. I posted this online on Facebook. Something I've just been into is the fact that design is so much a part has been done by men for so long that we have things like, especially in let's just one little aspect of it is talk about cars for a sec, is the shoulder. Do you think that if women were involved in the designing of seat belts, that they would have the shoulder strap that, goes across the boob?
No.
Not a way. No way.
They'd have some kind of nets or something.
Yeah, net or it wouldn't be that. It just no the way that it would be that. Well,
the 5-point harness that race car lady that just Danica.
Right, Danica Patrick.
She just retired, but anyway, her little 5-point harnesses that seems a little bit less pressure on her.
Right. So
I don't know why people don't have 5-point harnesses in their car. I mean, my kid does. Anyway, sorry.
So, but the other thing was, like I was talking about the buses, and I wanted to point out something. Somebody just wanted some really cool looking buses.
Yeah.
That's literally the only reason.
They were pretty cool.
Well, they were pretty cool. They were pretty cool, and all those buses came out of the 40s and 50s. But the cool thing, there are people in town. There's a couple of guys that just rent buses, for films. Period buses, and it is a trip to go to their yards and just see all these different and they're classic buses, but you can have them repainted or you have to pay for it, of course, but I mean you paint them up but it is a trip to look at them. How many really stylistically modern and Art Deco.
Yeah, some of those buses from like the 30s and 40s are really cool.
Yeah, and that was kind of what they were doing in here a little bit later. But there's nothing coming out of the 60s. I actually did a film, a short film called The Bus Stop, and I filmed for a week in a bus.
Wow!
And it was a nightmare with
Is
these
this during
kids.
Your homeless time. Yeah. Your homeless period. Between films.
All right. Well, I was between films. Yeah. So yeah. It was. I had all these kids to deal with, and I was kind of like prop master and special effects and art designer, and I had to deal with the kids. And I swear, at one point, this one kid turns to the other kid and goes, points to me and goes. like I was a drinker. Yeah. Which all I wanted to do was strangle them all. That's all I wanted to do was strangle them all.
That sounds about right.
You can't be on a bus that long with child actors. I mean, child actors are bad enough, but you don't have anywhere to get away from them.
You weren't seasoned by then because you didn't have like grandkids. You were probably younger, right?
I was a little bit younger. Yeah. I didn't have any grandkids.
They haven't broken you in.
Yeah.
Broken you down or whatever.
Broken down. It's down. It's not in. It's down.
I had 2 complaints.
Okay, go for it.
Anytime I hear DJs and like it's just not realistic. It's just the worst thing ever. Like when you hear DJ.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Terrible.
This one was awful.
The DJ in that.
But it really didn't matter much.
But.
It hurt me though. It really hurt.
It was so fingers on a chalkboard because he didn't have the cadence. And
you could you could hire a real DJ and make him.
Right, and they sound like DJs.
Yeah. This was an actor.
The important thing about a DJ is that they switch up their cadence all the time. Yeah. That they're never trying to. Because you don't want to bore people, right? Because you have to be with them every morning for 20 minutes.
Although I do know one DJ that I used to work with that I think he talks like the same way at home, but it's like it's definitely that DJ voice. It's like, hey Kurt, how you doing today?
Kurt, how you doing?
Like he always said that to me. And I'm like, do you talk like that at home? And then I ran into him like at the grocery store. Hey Kurt, how you doing? Are you getting some milk over there? I'm like, really? That's just his voice. So he was destined to be a DJ.
Right. But yeah, the guy that they had as a DJ here, I swear, I think that he was just reading it.
Yeah, he was.
Because it literally looked like he was. It sounded.
It was
like,
bad.
Like he was reading it. And by the way, if you were
trying to imitate somebody too, it was a bad imitation.
Yeah, it was a bad imitation. I mean, there's an obligatory, shot of going past the DJ in the booth, right? And they didn't do that because they knew that their radio sucked. That would have been too much.
I was expecting a shot from behind the DJ, like of him waving his arms and talking, and having the bus go by.
Exactly. It was kind of like the voice coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the definition of a DJ, but not quite. Yeah.
The other problem was there was one shot where they're going down into a basement, and there was some really heavy cobwebbing. They went a little overboard.
Yeah, they
way
did.
too much.
Yeah.
It was in one spot.
But you know what? There's one thing I have to say is they did dust it down well.
Yeah.
Because you've seen it now when it can glow.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, I got to tell you something. If you don't dust it down, you know that's one of my big things is I want them to act professional about it, dust it down, and make it look like it isn't glowing.
Right.
So weird.
And then there's a scene that we've seen a million times before with the pimple. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, but, you know what? There was a scene that had that, the guy going away and being pulled into the dark.
Yeah, yeah.
They did it really well because they kind of did it in a spot that you didn't think it would work, right? You didn't expect that.
Yeah.
They just did such a good job on this film.
I agree.
So we hardly heard anything about this film, and yet
I saw one bad trailer that was just talking about the stories and how they heal people or hurt people. And then it was like just a couple really slow video images. It wasn't really anything to it.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about the trailer, really.
Yeah.
I just remember it looked really bad.
Yeah, it looked bad.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I didn't even... We would have shined this film completely if it weren't for the fact that I happened to look at it and see that it got a 60% by critics. And I thought, well, really? A film like Beans there was so little press for it.
And this was a backup plan.
Yeah, it was a backup plan, and we had to go for it.
We were going to see another movie that wasn't out for some reason, so
yeah,
at least not here.
Well, not until tomorrow.
Yeah.
This place is so weird.
So it was our backup plan, and I was dreading it. And I'm like, and then I saw a theater full of people. I'm like, oh, there must be something going on.
And the theater was full of people. Like the book must be popular, and I'd never heard of it.
Same here. Well, it was mostly women. A lot of them were over 50. Yeah. But then there were some kids in there, too. They probably read the book.
Yeah.
Because they were in their classes.
Exactly. Teachers and kids. That's right. Teachers and students. So, I am just going to come out and say it. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm 3.9.
I'm actually at a 4.
You're at a 4. Well, there you go.
Trying to do the same time you were.
I
signaled it, but I didn't say it. I was
like, you know what? That doesn't work as well on radio.
No.
As you, but next time just turn it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll turn it up.
Hold it higher.
Well, listen to this. You can probably hear it if I do it loud enough.
Yeah. There you go. See?
You heard? Did you hear that faint voice?
I did.
I was like 4.
So, other than that,
no, this was an easy one.
It was an easy one. We absolutely agreed. We agreed even before we left the theater.
And watch out for this girl, Zoe Margaret Galletti. I don't know who she is, but she's
really pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah. I also like Michael Garza. Michael Garza, I've heard that name before, though.
Gabriel Rush was good. Damn it, I liked Austin Zahur.
Yeah, well,
the guy that played Chuck. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right.
There you go.
But Austin, you got an ally.
Okay, guys.
Yep.
We're out.
Don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in bloody sheets to drop you 6 feet underneath. They put you in a pine wood box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. It all goes well for about a week, and then your coffin begins to leak, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play pinochle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose as you begin to decompose. A slimy beetle with demon's eyes chews through your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns to rancid grease and pus pours out like melted cheese. You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's what you'll eat when you're dead. And the worms crawl out, the worms crawl in. The worms that crawl in are lean and thin. The ones that crawl out are fat and stout. Your eyes fall in and your hair falls out. Your brain turns into maggot pie. Your liver starts to liquefy. And for the living all is well as you sink further into hell. And the flames rise up to drag you down into the fire where you will drown. Your skin melts off as you descend, and Satan tears you limb from limb. Your suffering will never end. And the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. They'll eat your guts and then shit them out. And when your bones begin to rot, the worms remain, but you do not. So don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for someday you'll be the one to die. And when death brings his cold despair, ask yourself, will anyone care?
Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.